Pet owners of Reddit, what ridiculous things have your pets eaten? Dog ate a $5 bill. It came out the other end still intact, just crumbled up. We cleaned it up, let it dry out, and then used it for a tip later. It's very true that you never know where money has been. As a bookkeeper, this feels like a personal attack. Nice try, but we all know $5 bills don't actually exist. I saw a $5 bill once. Got it as a tip. We celebrate our dogs on 4th of July, and won his 3rd birthday making him 21 in dog years. He stole my mom's beer and drank it. Got to say that was weird. I know it says eaten, but I really like sharing the story. With my first dog, we had to be careful when taking her to the county fair, because she would try to beeline for every cup on the floor containing beer. We didn't let her drink it. My dog ate a sock hole, and it came out that way too. If you timed it right, you could have put a sock on your foot without ever touching it. Time it right twice, and he can take it off and put it on. Mine's done that multiple times. Mine's also partial to a wet wipe. My dog ate several socks and pooped them out until the day she didn't. 1 surgery, 2 days at the vet's, a bunch of staples, and $1,500 later, they got it out, and she never ate another sock. I had to take out a CR card to pay for it. 5 years later the dog is now dead, and I'm still paying it off. Lettuce. I've posted about this before, but I got my dog Snoopy when I was 10 years, and ever since he was a puppy he had this love for lettuce. He would go absolutely nuts for it, and so whenever I had a sandwich or a burger I would give him some of my lettuce. Over the years it became a ritual that, whenever I prepared any food that involved lettuce for myself, I would grab extra lettuce for him, so I could toss it to him as I ate. He passed away 4 years ago after almost 17 years together, but I still find myself grabbing that bit of extra lettuce for him. My cat will eat lettuce if there's creamy dressing on it, but my dog will spit it out once the dressing is gone. My grandmother's old cat would always beg shamelessly when grandma made tuna sandwiches, but then would refuse to even touch any tuna that was put down in a dish for her. Then one day I tried giving her some straight from my sandwich. Turns out the cat didn't want plain tuna. She wanted tuna salad. Had a cat that used to eat the long stringy bits of tinsel that you put on the Christmas tree. Every year it got stuck on the way out, so I had to pull it out. I kept telling my mother to stop buying the tinsel, but she never did. Just for future reference, pulling is bad. String, tinsel, yarn, etc. can get tangled up in their intestines and you can really hurt them by pulling it out. It can also create an intestinal blockage, which can be fatal. My brother's dog gave birth to a litter of 5 puppies. Everything is going fine until one day he notices there's now only 4. He searched his house high and low, but never found the poor thing. So the conclusion is that would be the strangest thing a pet has ever eaten for me. I know a few reputable breeders, and one of them told me it's perfectly normal for one puppy to die or be stillborn per litter. So it's entirely likely the pup passed, and the mom ate it for additional nutrition sanitary reasons. Yep, they do that if they are stressed too. Yeah, if the puppy passed away it's super common for the mom to eat it. We had a cat that did that. Not sure if the kitten was stillborn, but she was still covered in like placenta sac and IDK. It was gross. Linoleum flooring. He wanted to go with us when we left and tried to tunnel out through the door after us. We got home. He had dug down to the concrete slab of about 2 square feet, and there was nowhere near enough scrapped pieces left laying around for the entire area. Addition clarification: he ate roughly a 6x6 area worth of floor. We had a tuxedo cat who loved peppers. My mom would bring home peppers and leave them on a table. Next thing you knew, they were on the floor, and he was crunching away. Probably had diabetes. I had a cat that ate fruitcake. She had diabetes. I don't know if he was ever checked for diabetes. He had seizures a lot, but I don't recall the vet saying he had anything other than a brain disorder. I was little at the time, so I don't remember all of it, just his seizures, trying to force him to take pills, and his weird eating habits. Our dog enjoyed cooked ones, and hated raw ones. She'd try to steal your pizza just to hoover the peppers. She was medically fine aside from cataracts. She just loved peppers. My Labrador used to steal light bulbs and crunch them because they're crunchy, I guess. It didn't get hurt doing it, but we had to start putting light bulbs in safer places just in case. It also ate a razor. Didn't get hurt either. I have no idea how Labrador's stomach works, but man is it sturdy. Our old family dog ate a bunch of empty beer cans, leaving only the thicker bottoms behind, because he couldn't chew them. Didn't get hurt, and lived for 10 plus years after that. I think he was 2 for Labrador, 1 for Golden Retriever, and 1 for Flat-Coated Retriever. One of my parents' dogs also got into my stash of whey protein once, ate at least a pound of that stuff, before we could stop him. I've never heard him protest as loudly as he did back then when his meal got interrupted, and he got dragged into the shower. Also, the infernal smell of dog farts lingered in the house for 3 days straight. Unsurprisingly, he's a lab mix too. My dog did the same with Christmas tree ornaments. We could only decorate the top half for a few Christmases. I have a cat who likes fruit. I can eat fish, seafood, meat, chicken, etc. Whatever, you know. A cat's allegedly regular foods. They are obligate carnivores, and he ignores me. If I eat certain fruits, he begs. I had a cat who loved fruit. If you were eating something like an apple, she's come up and start eating off the other side. Our old little Darksea, a bee, used to be a carpet licker. We constantly had to tell her to stop licking the floor. Eventually, she got sick and stopped eating. We took her to the doctor, where they did an x-ray, and found a large mass in her stomach. They thought it was Gorilla Glue. I guess it's common for pets to eat that. Turned out it was just a massive $2,000 hairball. I swear one of my cats has pica. She loves to eat and chew on plastic, which means we have to be hyper vigilant about hiding anything plastic that she might be able to chew on or ingest. It's not like she isn't fed plenty of real food either. Thankfully she isn't so keen on chewing through cables, but I'd dread to think about what things she might have managed to eat without us knowing. As I say, we do our best to keep an eye on it, but who knows? We have a cat like that. She still chews on whatever wood she can get, but the plastic has stopped thankfully. When she was a kitten, she chewed on everything, so we passed it off as, you know, kitten behavior. One day, she put a puncture hole in a nearly full bottle of bleach, which we did not catch until all the bleach was on the floor. She was fine, but our eyes burned for days. My cat does this too. His favorites are plastic bags and nylon straps on backpacks, etc. I have always had small dogs around 3.5 kilograms. If there is dark chocolate anywhere even vaguely in reach, they attempt suicide by eating it and require a desperate trip to the vet before they die. My current dog was carrying around bits of broken glass 2 days ago. She also kills and carries bugs, and they sometimes might get eaten. River, what have you got in your mouth? Is the phrase I use most often in my life. If a dog gets chocolate once they become addicted, it's a random issue with dogs apparently. Ex-friend of mine had vet parents. She told me lots of random facts. My dog loves to pull things out of the laundry, usually towels, but sometimes underwear, and eat the tags off them. She leaves the rest of the item under shade, but the tags have to go. Occasionally she'll sneak a sock from the laundry, and she pretends to chew on it, but it's usually unharmed when I get it back. My Irish setter ate a gopher in our backyard. He came to the backyard door with blood on his face, carrying the gopher's head. I think my dog RIP tried to do the same thing, but it was a rabbit. I remember she hacked it up in the backyard, which still makes my stomach turn. My friend adopted 2 mastiffs. One day, the female broke down the gate and proceeded to eat an entire bag of raw sweet potatoes, then went on to have bright orange diarrhea all over their bedroom, which the dogs were not allowed to be in. I can't help but giggle when I think about it. I have a cat that has eaten a whole plastic bag, a whole one. He slowly chewed it in little bits until it was reduced to a small chunk, which was what he had in his mouth. When I got back home and found him, he pooped turds with small blue spots for a week. In the end, it didn't cause any harm. My dog once ate a whole bottle of fish oil pills. I've heard that most dogs are fine, so that's usually not hazardous. The days of fishy farts, however. My friend's dog ate a whole container of fish food, and the worst farts I've ever heard and smelled. My old dog RIP was laying in the garage floor while I was working on my car. Noticed he was chewing something, and when I went over and he eating steel wool, picked him up and ran to the vet. They kept him for a couple days, but he never had any issues. My cat spilled a melted candle all over himself. No burns but warm wax covered his fur. We were freaking out how to shave him. We went and bought clippers. When we got back he licked all the wax off. We thought we was going to die, but he acted like nothing happened. My chinchilla stole and ate an entire pack of cigarettes, pack and all. I can't believe their little hearts didn't explode. They were fine though. I didn't even realize it had happened until I moved their cage to clean underneath and found some of the cellophane. There was a baby chicken who lived upstairs as a secret. We were kids. Anyway, the dog got it and he ate it, and then mom found out about the secret chicken because the dog only ate half of them and left the guts and feathers everywhere. Truly a sight to behold. My dog ate a whole mole once. Teeth, claws, everything. Was constipated for 3 days, and on arriving at the vet, crapped all over the floor. With the problem solved, we apologized, turned around, and went home.